Hello everyone, welcome to Meet Your Candidates. Tonight we're going to be speaking with Tom Waniewski. Tom's running for Lucas County Commissioner. Hi Tom, good
Hi
to see you
Joey,
today.
good to see you.
Hey, so tell us a little bit about what exactly does a commissioner do and why are there so many people running for commissioner? What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, there are two seats that are up, and so I guess people just now try, and I think we have a couple of very good candidates running for those two spots. I'm going head to head with Pete Gherkin, who's been there a long time. A commissioner really manages $1 billion worth of money that comes in from the state, comes in from local property taxes, and then disseminates that to various agencies and does various things like tries to build a jail, like tries to have economic development in the county. Right now they're doing a poor job of it, in my opinion, and so that was one of the reasons I decided to run.
Okay Tom, so what are some of the top issues in the county that we face?
Yeah, so the county's made up of 22 different jurisdictions, so each is a little bit different, and I'll give you some of the extremes. Swanton Township has a little challenge with their swales, and how they're going to be assessed to clean those swales is causing them some concern. Now, Maumee has their issue with the sewer laterals, as they're called, and I think as a county commissioner, I would like to help them to handle that. It's caused a lot of consternation among residents in Maumee. But overall, what I put forth as my platform is to manage the tax rate a little better than what's being managed now. Many of you probably got your tax bill or the property valuation, and it's gone up plus 30% or so. Well, there's some state laws that'll help mitigate how much, but still, we're seeing our property taxes rise. We have to do a better job of managing those taxes. I propose reducing the sales tax, which is also a source of revenue for the county, by 1/4%, and raising the hotel motel lodging tax 1/2%. So it will end up being a net gain of some $4 million that would be coming into the county. So those are the things I think would have a greater advantage to the residents, the people who live here. So that's one of the things. The dog warden is a mess, so I would love to revamp that, bring back the volunteer group to help keep an eye on those poor dogs. We got to reboot the jail. It's $100 million over budget. There's some things we need to do as it relates to mental health and how people are charged if they have mental health issues, but that's something completely different. And so I want to reboot the jail. I want to adjust our taxes. I want to put out for the public to see how our levies are, in essence, adjudicated through the commissioner's office. There's a levy committee that looks at this, but you never know what were the pros and cons that were brought up, and it gets on the ballot. So I would love to at least provide the public with here's what this organization is doing, here's what their CEOs make, et cetera, and just be more of a constituent-friendly commissioner. So those are some of the things that I'm working on.
Transparency, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I believe the citizens definitely deserve that for sure.
I agree.
Let's hear about your resume. What's your history? A couple of us know a little bit about your history, but
Hey, you got a couple of hours? No, I'll condense it. But I have had somewhat of an eclectic, but just wonderful career. I'm a journalism major. That's my undergraduate degree. And a journalist is really supposed to know little about a lot. So your broad spectrum is wide, and then your knowledge is a bit shallow, but that's why you're the inquisitive type to find out more about that. So my career path has done that. I spent 25 years in television news, worked in Detroit, St. Louis, loved Northwest Ohio, so I came back, took a job in public relations at the University of Toledo, one of the better jobs I've ever had. But then a buddy of mine and I founded Access Toledo, which was a dial-up internet service back in 96. So, dial-up just coming back, the internet was moving. We ended up experimenting with broadband, bigger pipe for your internet connectivity to go down, and we were using cable modems to do that. Buckeye Cable System took note of that. They ended up buying us out. So that gave me a little bit of a cushion that I could just plot my next move of what I wanted to do, and that's when I ran for Toledo City Council. We ran against a wonderful guy, Marty Skeldon, but he had a good name. known his political lineage in town, and this was my first run for public office as city council in 2007, and we won, and I was very happy about that, and then ran again in 4 years and beat my opponent by 20 points. In the third and final term, I ran unopposed, a Republican running unopposed in Toledo. I wear that as a badge of honor. So once I got out of that, I went back to private sector. I'd raise money for nonprofits, and so I retired from raising money for the Catholic diocese, Catholic charities specifically. We have 13 ministries throughout 4 counties, and I really, really enjoyed raising that money, but seeing also the good that Catholic Charities was doing. A lot of great nonprofits in town. So I retired to spend a little more time with my 2 grandsons, Emmett and Laney, and but had a little tank, or gas left in the tank, as I like to say, Charlie. And that's when I decided to run for county commissioner, especially after seeing all of these payouts that were going to keep, in essence, to keep employees from suing the leaders of the county.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Like.
Yeah, well, we've measured over $4 million of what I call payouts. So some were to disgruntled employees who were being mistreated, but there was a $178,000 appropriation because an employee said she was being discriminated against. So they put her in HR, gave her a raise, and left her alone and gave her $178,000.
Who approves that, man? I mean,
The commissioners.
How does the commissioner approve that? Isn't is it kind of an outside spending issue? And
Well,
would the council be involved with spending extra money like that?
You would think. They have, in many cases, what's called and I don't know which pot it's come from, but they have this fund. It's like an insurance policy fund that is supposed to help support in cases like this. But still, that insurance fund, because the county is self-insured, that's all tax dollars that goes into this. So our tax dollars are going to just this crazy stuff of disgruntled employees that end up getting raises and promotions to other positions. It's just ludicrous. But that's what happens when you have a one-party system. Now, I don't care if you're all Republican, you're all independent, or you're all Democrat. You just don't have that oversight.
Amen.
If it's just one party, and I'm hoping to break that.
We're hoping you can too.
Thanks, Charlie.
Awesome, Tom. Well, heck, what kind of things do you like to do for fun anyway? I mean, if you have any time for fun, right now, it's a pretty busy season.
If I had any time for fun, I'll have to ask my dear friend Shelley what, because she does try to. I have a good group of friends and family, and they try to make sure I'm taken care of in that regard. But I like going to concerts. I like walks in the park. What is this, a dating video? I like spending time with my grandsons, with Shelley, and just reading. Sometimes I just like to chill at home and do nothing.
Cool.
I don't remember the last time I really watched TV. I haven't even seen a single football game this season yet, but I'll get to that. And the campaign stuff is, though, a lot of fun, Charlie. We did a parade in Waterville last week. And that was so much fun, and to see the people and get that support. So it's all good. It's very good. I wouldn't have run if I didn't think, A, there was a need to run, and if I didn't think I had the energy to not run. So it's all worked out.
Absolutely. And it takes a special kind of person to be able to have that stamina and just to keep on going. It's a lot of hard work, but like you said, if you're in the right spirit for the people, it can be fun.
Yeah. No, I don't need a job. I don't need the money. I just feel that there's so much, particularly as it relates to moving money around. One of the other points of my platform, we have workforce development money. $2.5 million comes into workforce development from the state. Well, we're only allocating $400,000 to agencies. Places like the Cherry Street Mission, places like the Junction Street Corridor, they can use workforce development money to help people, and it's not going that way. The REMS, I would love to restore funding to emergency medical services and advanced life support services. Under Pete Gerken, that money has been slashed, and that's not the way the voters intended it to be. When I say slashed, he's actually moved it over to fund the jail, the $100 million over budget jail. So I'd like to restore that funding so that communities are safe, whether you're in Providence Township or the city of Sylvania or the township of Sylvania. you need to have that emergency life system available to the people who are paying the taxes.
Absolutely, absolutely. The Lucas County Homelessness Board just came out with some kind of report talking about homelessness in our city going up.
Yeah. So in the county manages mental health board, children's services board, workforce development board. I've gone through the last 8 years of workforce development board minutes, and my opponent hasn't attended one meeting in 8 years. Something's wrong with that, let me tell you. But yes, and so in fact now I work a little part-time with the grants at St. Paul's Community Center, so I know the issue of homelessness, and you know, the whole fentanyl, the whole addictive qualities that have invaded our community, that's causing a lot of the homelessness. But St. Paul's and other agencies are, I think, doing yeoman's job of trying to tackle that, bring it under control, and get people to, you know, to help themselves, just to get them started and provide some support structure. So yeah, I'm a big fan of St. Paul's and other such nonprofits.
Absolutely, especially in an economy like this. It doesn't take much just to get knocked off your feet, I could imagine.
Yeah, and you know, the county sent those valuations on property taxes. That's another one of my platform components, besides letting the public see from a transparency standpoint what all these levies bring in, don't bring in, what their CEOs are getting paid. But I would love to put a moratorium on property taxes, and no increase for a year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that, because it's really hurting middle America. Folks that barely being able to put food on their table because of the high price of food are now being asked to have their property taxes raised. So we're going to look at that, I promise, once I'm elected.
I know it's really hard to justify that, especially since through this last 4 years, the American workers lost about 20% of their paychecks. The value of their paychecks are 20% less, and that's every week.
Yeah,
that's an ongoing every week thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
This is just nuts.
There are 88 counties in Ohio, and Lucas County is in the top 4 in terms of high costs for taxes and sales tax. So that's why I mentioned I would love to reduce sales taxes, make up a little bit, and then some with the lodging tax, hotel motel tax, so that people who are coming to visit our city will be paying more of a share for that. So hopefully the metrics on my economic plan work out, and we'll be a much better county in a couple, 3, 4 years.
Well, one thing for sure, it's good to see a candidate that actually has a plan.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's fun. We start talking about, well, what do you do for fun, and we end up talking about politics. So I guess we're kind of in the same boat here.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Charlie. I guess that, and I've always liked talking politics or talking public policy. What works, what doesn't work. You know, in the 12 years that I was term limited, so I could only spend 3 consecutive 4-year terms on city council. But I'm proud of the fact that I was able to really educate some of my Democrat friends about just income and expenses, and how you can't spend more than you take in, how we shouldn't be in the business of doing this and this when it detracts from the basic services of security and fill the potholes. Well, I'm bringing that basic services back to the county so that we're taking care of the residents of the county first. We're providing safety for the county, and we're making living in the county a good value so that people aren't moving to Wood County, that they can find their home right here and a good deal on their home.
Excellent, excellent. Well, gosh, Tom, thank you so much for being a part of our series. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate the questions.
Yeah.
Good questions. Yeah, and I hope the public is able to hear my answers. And if they have any other questions or need clarification, go to my website. It's my name, tomwaniewski.com. There's a contact form in there. I answer my all of the email that comes personally, and I'll be happy to answer or clarify anything.
You hear that? TomWaniewski.com. Well, again, thank you, Tom.
Absolutely, Charlie.
Appreciate it. This is the end of our interview tonight. If you like it, please share the video, and we appreciate you watching. Thank you.